This is a compilation video where I stitch together the most pertinent parts of how to use a moon calendar. I'll show you how I use my own moon calendar journal as a book of shadows, some of my favorite symbols, and then a reveal of what 2026's moon calendar journal will look like. Here's the book from last year, and this is my master key page. These are all the symbols I have to remind me in case I forget. I mean, it's fun, you know, you can just come up with whatever you want. And you could put sigils in here if you wanted to make this even more magical. This is what January of 2024 looked like. I had written down the days that I meditated and then my menstruation, and then it looks like in January I didn't do any spell work. But I also noted the moon phases, the quarters, the dark moon and the full moon. And then if I even wanted to, I could put the specific symbols from here that I use in here up here so that I don't have to flip all the way to the front again. And then here's just like a little note about what I did. February, I actually did a lot more in terms of like spell work. And you can see I utilized the key for this month up here too. I'm not going to go into super detail about this, but as you can see, I've got some ancestor communication, graveyard visit. I used a little bit of color on this one instead of just black and white, which actually I like a lot. I used my Rose of Jericho in a spell. There's a bunch of stuff that I did here. On this side, I took notes. This was my experience about going to the graveyard, and then some recipes. And I made a map of the graveyard here, and then noted all the gravestones that I visited and spoke with a spirit there, so that I could go back and revisit. I also put down the offerings here that I used, which were coins and tobacco. This is actually a binding spell here that I created. I love this. This spell is my baby, but I'm not going to read it. Oh, and here I did some drawings for this month, which is spirit ink and then summoning incense and releasing incense. So I just did a diagram of what I made with all the ingredients that I used. You can kind of get a sense of how to use this journal here. The cool thing about using a moon calendar is that you can create your own symbols to represent different aspects of your practice. Some of my favorites are and I just love how personal this can get. You can even keep track of your workings with a sigil if you like, so you know which working you did when. If you are of the camp that it's necessary to forget your sigil, then that might not work for you. But there are many symbols that are available to use. You can literally plug in anything that is important to you for whatever practice you have. Your symbols are your symbols, so unless someone has the key, it's a great way to code your work without worrying that somebody will understand any of it. Here are some ideas of symbols you can use. Let's take a look at this year's Moon calendar journals. Oh, they're pretty. Great. Okay, so I've got the 15-month that starts in September of this year and goes to December of next year, and the 12-month, which starts in January 2026 and goes to December of 2026. And I'm very excited. These are pretty much, they're set up just like the other years, except that I changed the aesthetic of it on the inside. So on the outside, you've got a full moon and then an ombre sky that goes from sort of like a plum purple to a dark purpley blue. And then it has another color in this corner, ombre color. It's hard to tell on camera, I think. What is all this dust? Sorry. That's supposed to go from sort of a orangey gold into a blue, but it looks more like brown, but that's okay. It still looks pretty cool. The inside I've changed a little bit, but it's just the visuals. It's not the content. In the last 3 books, I had sort of like a night garden as sort of the embellishments on the pages, and this time we have just like simple lines and stars that are also lighter, so they're gray instead of like black. So we still have the master key here, and then each month there is a cyclical calendar you can use here with a smaller key here, so you can transfer whatever symbols you're using that you've put in your master key into the smaller one for that month. You can still import whatever moon phases you want here. Then we've got lined pages that are wide ruled, so those of you who have a harder time seeing or write bigger, you have space to do that. You have a half page with lines, and then it's blank down here, so you can write whatever you need and then draw a visual. Or you could figure out a sigil down here, or whatever. You know, there are plenty of reasons why you would need a blank page. And then you have a full blank page here if you wanted to sketch out your altar or just visually draw the ingredients that you use in a spell. And then we go to the next month. And it's the same for every month, but as you can see, visually it's simplified. So yeah. So these, I'm really excited. I love these moon calendar journals. It's a book of shadows with a calendar attached to it, so you can easily reference through symbols what your month is like. I love them. I'll have links in the description box as well if you want to purchase these. I'm really excited that these have come in already. Let me know in the comments if you've ever used one and what you like or dislike about them.